You're watching E.T.N, where we don't do news, we just talk entertainment. Share and subscribe.
Rob, does this mean that those aliens are going to be in GVK? Because humans building Macag in the Monsterverse makes no sense.
Yeah. Thanks for the donation. I'll get to that in a minute. I'm not a fan of how Mecha looks so far, but I think he will look better on screen like Mothra. Yep. Thanks for the robot mask. Yeah, the Zillions are here, baby. All right, we're here. Look, right here. I'm here. There you go. Thanks for the dono, Squib, and thank you also, WTF. No, I don't think it means the Zillions are going to be. This is being built by humans. Now, the rumor going around is that it's not going to be a big role. I don't think that matters. You know, he's in the movie. That's going to just open the floodgates.
I'm not exactly happy about this Mecha either, but no one has directly said this is the end. All I've seen is depending on this movie will debate on the future of the Monsterverse.
Yeah, I still believe that too. I do think if it makes money, it's going to garner another film. But it's the film after that will potentially suffer the repercussions of people just not taking this seriously enough. General audiences, of course. I mean.
This is just ridiculous. I really don't care if Mechagodzilla is in it. Let's just have a big finale.
Yeah, I mean, you know, that's what I'm saying. I know. That's going to be my approach when I get in there. You know, when I get to the movie, I'm just going to run with it. You know, that's at the end of the day, we're there to have fun and enjoy it. But it is a little bit concerning because, you know, general audiences, I don't know how they're going to feel about this. Well, not that I don't know. I feel strongly that it's not going to register with them. They're not going to connect with this. And now we've gotten to a point where we've shifted the grounded approach all the way to full-fledged fantasy. We started the series with a very grounded approach with the monsters being animals of obviously large magnitude existing in the world. Obviously, it's not 100% realistic because, you know, it's a movie. It's still a fantasy. But it's gotten so extreme.
Zach Raymond tipped $1. Don't get me wrong, I love Mechagodzilla, especially kaiju, but I cannot see how having Mechagodzilla can work in the Monsterverse. I guess if they take Dagon's skeleton, giant skeleton in Godzilla 2014, and make their own version of kaiju. I don't know now.
You know, I don't know how much people want to know about the leak, so I'm not going to get into it. But I will say this. It's going to be a very different approach. I go into some details of some of the ideas that were speculated in the podcast. So if you guys want to hear that, if you haven't heard it yet, etn.podbean.com. And I believe the name of the episode, I'll pull it up real quick. It's just an episode dedicated to Godzilla vs. Kong leaks. And I don't go into detail of all of them. I mainly focus on the idea of Mechagodzilla because really that's where, again, that was the common theme. That was what was always talked about in every leak that I looked up. And a lot of the stories were similar. The one that caught my attention the most involved Millie Bobby Brown. The name of the podcast is...
Didn't see that coming?
Mechagodzilla is accepted by the general audience and the movie does well, then consider the gloves coming off in the future films. Yeah, if it does well, yeah, they'll go nuts. I know I'm I'm going Super Saiyan tonight. Godzilla vs. Kong delay and rounding up the leaks. I actually posted that on my birthday. And that's on etn.podbean.com. That's the episode where I talk about all the leaks going on in the film. So, you know, it's, you know, listen to at your own risk. It doesn't mean that they're all going to be legit, but there's definitely that common theme, like I said. And now, in terms of, looking at it from a positive standpoint, look, it's Mechagodzilla. I mean, come on. You know, I can't wait to at least see what it looks like on screen. I don't think there's any reason to be negative right now. We haven't seen a movie yet. We haven't seen a trailer. There's no reason to be negative, honestly, in my opinion. I'm just putting, like, my opening comment was to put a what's the word I'm looking for? A disclosure, so to speak. Because people tend to flip. People tend to try and pretend. They try to bullshit. And yeah, the other one was from Twitch. And what's gonna happen is if people don't see what they want to see, they're gonna be like, "Oh, I knew this was a bad idea." When it was like, "No bullshit." I remember you in chat. You said you were excited for this. This is what you wanted. This stream right here will not be up on the channel, but you best believe I'm saving it. Yeah, the floodgates are open. At this point, they can do whatever. At the end of the day, if it makes money, they're gonna do it. I just think that when the general audience sees a giant robot Godzilla, man, I'm just gonna feel so bad. So, yeah, I mean, on the other hand, like I said, I'm excited because I do love Mechagodzilla. He is one of my favorite villains, if not my favorite villain. As you all know, I saw Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla. It was the first movie I saw as a kid. It's the one that got me into the franchise, and it's the one I watch most commonly when I go back to watch some of the older movies. I tend to always go back to Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla first. So, yeah, I mean, if they picked up the rights to Mecha, then did they pick up the rights to... See, that's the thing That's why, I don't like to get into rights, because this is when these questions start coming, like, oh, if they got the rights to this monster, maybe they got the rights to the other monster.
The general audience is trying to accept Mechagodzilla. I don't think fans can accept Godzilla wearing armor.
That's a new thing. And I know what's going to happen with that. If that plays out in a movie, it's going to spark a debate for all time. Well, legendary Godzilla was never that strong because he had to wear armor. And I'm going to be like, you know what? I think I'm done. I'm just going to keep my Godzilla fandom to myself. Why would he wear armor? There is a reason, I think, why that's in there. But it's based on a leak that I heard about. And again, I don't want to talk too many leaks because not everybody here wants to hear about other leaks. This was a toy image that leaked, and everybody's talking about that. So again, I have a podcast about that. And when you listen to some of the different leaks I talk about in the podcast, you'll get an idea of why he might need the armor. And again, E.T.N.podbean.com. It's called Godzilla vs. Kong Delay and Rounding Up the Leaks. That's the name of the... You know what? Let me just link the goddamn thing.
Can I wake up from this nightmare? Godzilla with armor? Kong with an axe? Power Rangers Megazord? Kong tripling in size?
Thank you for the dono, Jamie X. Oh, well, Kong growing was already established. That's not anything worth, I think, complaining about. I mean, they established that in Kong Skull Island that he was still growing, and that was to be expected. In terms of him holding an axe, it's not as out of the ordinary as you might think, considering he is intelligent enough to make weapons and craft tools. I mean, how many times in Kong Skull Island did he grab a tree and rip all the branches off to make like a freaking, use it like a bat? So he has some form of intelligence. To be capable of crafting something, a basic tool, not to mention it could be just for the toy. It may not even be in the movie that way. It could just be the toy. So I think people are, and this happens all the time. People are starting to get overly concerned and overly worried, and you guys get blown stuff out of proportion. Let the movie come out first before you start worrying about what the toys are giving you. Just because he's holding an axe doesn't mean he's going to have an axe in the movie. And if he does have an axe in the movie, fuck it. We got a robot Godzilla. Why are you worried about an axe? You know what I'm saying?